Hello, everybody, and welcome to your fourth day of Becoming Firmly Rooted. What an exciting experience this has been for us as teachers, and also to see the people, you guys, connecting and participating. We're watching in the YouTube channel, the numbers going up on the replay. So very good, and thank you for that. We really appreciate this. We've gotten a lot of beautiful comments about the challenge, and really quickly, and we're going to go over it again at the end, but make sure you sign up for your call if you haven't already. Okay, wonderful. So
I'm going to put that link in the chat.
Okay, super. And then over to Ms. Laurie.
Oh, Greatest You Calendar.com. That's where you can go and schedule your call to really help you integrate this work, to take it from, the kind of the education piece, the big overview into my life. How does this apply to me and the relationships I have or want, the job I have or want, the health I have or want? How does this information, where does it really take me? How does it take me to the other things that I want, right? So that's where we want to talk to you about that and really make sure that you're able to take this information and get the most out of it. So the greatestyoucalendar.com is where you can go and schedule your free call there, set your plan, know exactly how you're going to get to these beautiful places that you're ready to go. So as we said, today
before we can I throw one more thing in there?
Yeah,
I got an email from one of the people who have been following our work for a couple years, and she asked if she could still have a session with me if she wasn't able to go into the academy immediately. So we're going to talk about all of that. But guys, come on, don't stop yourself. This is leading into a place for you to continuously grow, which is magnificent. So book your calls either way. It's okay. We want to be able to support you. That's what this week is about.
That's what it's about. Yes, absolutely. We put this together and we want it to be beneficial for everybody. So ask yourself, what do I need to make this information beneficial to me to really use it? So, over the last few days, we've been talking about what it means to be firmly rooted, that knowing yourself and understanding, having a beautiful connection with yourself, your internal world, and showing up as your truest version of yourself is really that foundation for becoming firmly rooted. And today we want to talk to you a little bit about, there's so many pieces to this. And today the piece that we want to bring to you and really get you thinking about and working towards is creating the time and space that you need in order to hear from your internal world, in order to be connected to that, because it's not a switch we turn on and we say, oh, I want to do that now. And immediately, we become in tune with our internal world and fully connected. So we need to create that time and space, and it is a sacred place where you meet yourself, and a really incredibly rejuvenating place where you meet yourself. And it's essential, right? If you want to feel safe and secure, we're creating a relationship with the one person who will always be there for you, who will always know what your needs are and be able to meet them. And that, of course, is you. So if you're not creating that time and space, I know you're with yourself all the time, but I'm talking about being with yourself, which is entirely different. And you know what I'm talking about, I think, the difference between, being with yourself and going through your day versus being with yourself in a way that you're really attentive to what's going on and you're connected to that highest, most truest part of you. So we want to really make sure that, and it's going to look different for everybody. We don't mean to say this is the only way that you can feel connected, but what we're offering you is the opportunity to try something on and then modify it and make it yours, so that you have that beautiful special time with yourself in which you can hear from your internal world, your greatest self. So Mia, let's talk about some of the tools. Today's integration is all about it. I'm going to go through that process in more in depth, but talk to us a little bit about this practice of being still, this beautiful sacred space that we want to create. I heard it described as a listening room recently, and I love that
Oh, that's
idea.
great.
Like, yeah, right. Creating a
Yeah.
listening room
Yeah.
for me and my
That's
most
magnificent,
it
actually.
is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and it really, yeah.
Lori had said, let's try this on, right? So give yourself the opportunity. The cool thing about,
Yeah, can I ask a quick question? We're recording, right?
yes, we are.
Yes. Oh, I see it. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I'm a terrible recorder. Ask anyone in any of my classes, I'll be like, oh, we're 20 minutes in and I didn't start the recording. So
Yes.
forgive me.
It's okay. Um, so the trying on is really beautiful, and that's what we ask you to do in any and all of the Academy stuff. We provide you with so much stuff that what fits you will be perfect. So it's like trying on clothes at a store. It's like, does this fit? Let me try it on. Maybe that other process would fit better for me because we're uniquely different. So I really love that you said that, Lori. It's really great. So let's talk about what it's like to get still. Most likely your authentic self has not even learned yet how to quiet down because your civic self has been taking over. So in this space where we want to gift ourselves the listening room, as Lori had mentioned, is really powerful because it's maybe the first time that you've allowed yourself to listen. As humans, we always have to have some distraction, especially if there's been trauma in our life. And so the TV's on, or the radio is on, or the music is playing, and you're not even listening. You're just moving around because you don't want to be with yourself. So allow yourself the space to come back to see what it's like to be in a quiet space. There is something that goes on in our brain that is resistant. So it's brain resistance to getting quiet. And so we're resistant to it. Why? Because we just haven't done it yet. We don't know. We haven't taken ourselves through. There's lots of ways that Lori's going to go through processing too, but I also want to talk about getting still in the method that I like to teach you guys. Lots of people, clients, they don't feel comfortable getting quiet, as we said. They believe that it's not part of who they are. But when you take that time to be still, it's a moment you've never had, I promise you. And many of you have practiced meditation, and it can be very difficult to get into that quiet space. So whether you're just stilling yourself, just to be quiet within you, or whether you want to practice a process to really gain it, like we talk about calming the nervous system so that you can absorb your information, or whether you want to actually take a meditation and do that, this all will teach you how to be still. So if you've never tried being still, try it for a minute. Sit down and just be still. Try not to think about all the extraneous things that keep coming into your life. I teach a method where as a thought comes in, you ping it out like it's a cloud. So your thought becomes a cloud and you remove it. And you just keep seeing yourself removing the clouds out of your consciousness or your mind's eye until you become still. Another way to practice stillness is through sound. Getting quiet with yourself, sitting in your chair or laying down and feeling the fabric or the chair underneath you and just relaxing into it. You can't go into stillness or meditation if you've not practiced this. So if you're out in the street and you get stressed out and you want to be still, it's like, I hear Lori and Mia talking about wanting to connect to my authentic self right now. I really want to do this, but I can't. It's okay. You have to build, just like everything in life. We have to layer it one upon another. So Lori, with this, what I've shared so far, what else would you add to this before we go into the process that you're going to communicate? So I'm more of a spiritual woo-woo person, not quite so woo-woo, but spiritual, and Lori's more grounded. And so I refer to her a lot of times on my spiritual stuff being put into the human words. I could read what we wrote for today, but I don't want to do that. So I'm asking Lori if you want to support what I just said. Is there other
Yeah,
stuff
it's
you
the
want to talk about?
which I love how we come together, because I'm all like, okay, now practical. What is the exact, like, I need that. That's how my brain works. And so I love the way that, we balance each other and offer a bigger picture because of the way that we are different, but also, exactly, on board in so much of the same way. And just to follow up and really reiterate and strengthen what you said, because it's something that everyone experiences to some degree or another. And that is really we're offering you a practice, but this is not to say, again, here's the practice. If you don't do it like this is magic. If you follow this exactly, you will have everything, and then the person tries to follow it and it's like, oh, it doesn't really fit me. Am I doing it right? I'm not, oh no, if I don't do it right, I'm not going to get the magic. We're offering you a chance to try something on. And that is so important that you understand that, and that you open up what I'm offering you in this exercise is a space, is the listening room for you to go in. But what happens in that room is up to you and your greatest self and all your parts and all of everything that you're made up of. And so you are in charge of what happens. We're just giving you kind of a framework to start with so that you can experiment and see, where does this take me? How do I mold this into something? Because if you don't know how to start, then us saying, go get still, is not helpful. But we're also not saying this is the only way to do this. You must, and then turn around 3 times, say that. And then
Do
sometimes,
some jumping jacks.
right, or whatever it is. There is no one way for all of us to go into our internal world. That's kind of the point, right? We're looking for our individuality, our truth. And so it might look a little bit different for you, but we're going to give you a framework to start with, and you may love it. That's not to say you have to change it. You may love what it is. What we're offering you, it is 5 minutes, and that is really the best place to start. If you are somebody who, and this is everybody, if you are somebody who has tried meditation, tried another practice of getting still, and it's not worked for you, you have even more resistance to trying this, and you may wonder, like, what's wrong with me? Oh, that's not for me. Right. And those are functions of could be a nervous system that's a little bit overactive, which is not a bad thing. We're not saying, oh no, there's this big problem, but it's just something to notice. Lots of
And
people,
programming.
right. Lots of people try these practices of getting still, find that they don't work, assume they're not somebody who could do that. And then they miss out on the necessity of this beautiful connection with self. And so the question here that we have for you is, try this on and then start to notice, what is working? Is any part of this working for me? Why is it not working for me if it's not? Is it because I keep having thoughts like, hey, you got this whole great big list of things to do, and you're sitting here in your chair spending time being quiet? Quiet doesn't get stuff done, or is it, something else where it's just, oh, this feels really uncomfortable. I don't like what might come up. I'm afraid of what might come up. In the practice of trying to be still, you may find what the resistance to being still is all about. And once we have that, we can put our focus and energy on dealing with that. If it's thought patterns that make it hard to do that, then we can work with that so that you can be still. If it's an overactive nervous system, we can work with that so that you can be still and get the benefit. So don't give up on it. Let it be, even if it doesn't go well, let it be informative. Collect some data around your attempts.
I would like to share, guys, that I love Lori has my head springing because when you like when you teach people meditation in order to move forward, sometimes you forget. And listening to Lori reminded me that it's all about our pre-programming, right? Where how we were raised or what we've done in life, what we've heard. We may not even realize that we're turned off by something. For me, my mother's was jealous of her sister. We were all metaphysical, but my mother was jealous of her sister being a meditator and a yoga person. And so I heard a lot of negativity, but I've come to realize that I've been meditating since I was 7, and you guys probably have too. So let me just share these ways that you have: in prayer, talking to God, when you sleep and you go in and out of your stillness. That's a form of a connective to the consciousness, that things come up beautifully. So know that you already do it. And Lori's talking about this listening room, and I love that term. Whoever invented it is a genius, because as you're still and you're creating that space within you, and a lot of stuff comes up to distract you because your subconscious isn't used to the quiet and the still. And so in that listening room, your energy levels become very powerful. They're connected to you, and I can actually see my listening room. So imagine what your listening room would be. And just like in the spaces of the inner child meditation process, where you have your own special cabin or a place that's just yours, nobody else can go, let's bring the listening room in there too, because that is so magnificent, that space that's solidly yours.
Yeah, yeah. And I often tell people, see if you can create that space in your home where, even if it's just a little corner or a chair that's really reserved for that. It is so that your brain connects that. Okay, when I'm in this chair, right? If you're trying to do it at your desk, your brain may be saying, hey, it's work time.
Right.
Or if you're in your favorite, chair in front of the TV, oh, it's TV watching time.
Yeah.
So see if you can find a space that feels really loving and dedicated to this practice. I actually I know it's a little bit weird. I like to be really cuddled into a space. I have a space that's about this big, just big enough for my booty, between the vanity and the wall in my bedroom. And I'll crawl into that space with a pillow and a blanket. And when I really, need that extra support, that is a place that I need. Another time, and when the weather is warm, it's outside on the couch first thing in the morning. So really think about your environment here, and just being in that environment is going to do something for you. And also, like I said, over time, not the first day, but over time, your brain will connect being in that space with being quiet, which will support you in being able to get to that internal place. So, you could think of it like your listening room, or just, your special space. And it does not have to be, it could be a corner of a room, like I'm describing that for myself. If it's a whole, if it's a beautiful, I had one woman who bought herself a chaise lounge for her bedroom, because the idea, and she could instantly see it. And she actually, created that for herself. And that became her listening space, her listening room. So I'm going to go through the process that we're offering you. And I can't wait to hear how it goes for you, what kinds of things you've noticed in the past have worked for you, even if you weren't consistent with it. And here I would say consistency is the number one goal, not how well did I connect, how deep did I go, how, what incredible realizations or aha moments did I have? None of that. The goal is to be consistent. And if you do that, there will be those beautiful results, aha moments. From day to day, we don't know if we're going to have an amazing day, or if it's, 4 or 5, I didn't really get much out of that time. But you did. If you sat down and you did it, you absolutely did. So make that your only goal, is to create 5 minutes for yourself, and then you can build on it. But if we go in and say, oh, I need a 45-minute practice starting tomorrow, you're not going to do that, right? You're not. So
you're not going to do it continuously.
Right.
You may struggle through that 45 minutes, and it's going to be the worst 45 minutes that you've experienced. Yeah.
Right. And then pretty soon we give it up, and the brain says, yeah, you can't do that. That's not for you. That's not something that we're blah, 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 right? So our 5 minutes is really, we want to start by just doing some nice, slow, deep breaths. This is in the first minute, for each of these things, try to shoot for about a minute. That might help you to have some structure. Certainly don't have to, not a magic formula, but we're offering you something to get you started. And if you have a practice right now, that's awesome. Evaluate it. Think about how it's serving you and what else you might like to bring in from this list. So we want to start by just, getting our some really beautiful breath work going. And this does calm the nervous system, because if you are breathing that way, your nervous system knows, hey, we're probably not being chased by tigers. Everything is okay. She's breathing in this manner. Okay. It opens up the possibility of settling into quiet. And so this breath that we're describing here is where you breathe in and then you breathe out much slower, and that helps your body relax. When you need energy, you do the exact opposite. It creates some sympathetic energy within your body, but this creates some parasympathetic energy and really kind of takes you into a place where you're much more relaxed and able to spend 4 more minutes being with yourself. And the question we invite you to ask yourself is, how do I feel right now? And you may think, well, that's kind of silly. I'm in here, of course I know how I feel, but it never fails to surprise me how things come up only when the space is created, only when the question is asked. Do we really hear from certain parts of us that are experiencing different feelings? And I really invite you to focus on the physical aspect of how you're feeling as well. Where are you feeling this in your body? And really just, scan your body and get into your body. Embodiment is such an important part of connecting with yourself. Often we think connecting with ourselves is only the mind. What am I thinking? That's not the question here. It's how are you feeling? Body, mind, spirit, all of it, right? And being really open to your body as much as your mind. And then really asking yourself, what do I need? What do I want? And let that come forward. And all of these could be built into beautiful, lots of time where you give yourself 15 minutes, 20 minutes for each of these. For now, we're just going to be very simple and get the ball rolling. And in the next minute, set an intention for your day. Ask yourself, who do I want to be today? What do I want out of this day? And just get reconnected with that instead of the automatic, okay, I'm up, brush my teeth, drink my coffee, do my work, blah, 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 whatever it is. And we're like robots are on a conveyor belt. It's just happening to us versus what do I want, and getting connected with that. It could be something very specific or broad. There's some suggestions here. And then choose an affirmation to really tie into maybe that intention, or maybe something else that you're working on, something that you want to really create for yourself. Now, affirmations, whenever I teach affirmations, I really, the science behind affirmations, and yes, there is lots of science behind affirmations, is really important to understand, because I want you to think about where you are right now with a subject that you have an affirmation or would like to develop an affirmation around. And if you're here, I always use this example because people get it. If you're over here and you're saying to yourself, like a lot of people, oh my God, my body is so disgusting, I need to lose weight, right? And then you try on an affirmation that says, I am 125 pounds and my body is perfect and I don't need to lose weight. If that is what the jump you're trying to make, and this applies, of course, to anything, we don't cognitively, our brains are not going to make that jump. What's going to happen is something called the reticular activating system, the RAS in your brain, is going to pop up and say, yeah, right, that is total crap. I know that this is not true over here. Like, you cannot tell me that I am, this. And so it's going to shut it down, and you can think it, but it's not going to form a new pathway for it. It's not going to really become something that you can start to believe. So in the research, we understand that if we want to create a new way of thinking, we have to do it in increments. We have to pick something that's at least plausible, that we can at least, believe to some degree. And so there's some affirmations that are offered here, but really think about, if there is an affirmation that resonates with you, but you recognize it's just too big of a jump, pare it down a little bit and make your affirmations really effective. And then you can move right along that ladder to the best thinking that you ultimately want to have. But when you're trying them on, make sure it's something that your brain can be like, yeah, okay, and maybe I don't think this all the time, but there's some truth in here. I can get behind that, right? And that's the most effective way to use affirmations. So I'm going to jump out so that I can get on an incredible meeting that's a standing meeting on 9:30s on Fridays. And Mia, thank you for finishing up today. Thank all of you here and on the replay who are giving so much beautiful effort to this process of becoming firmly rooted. I love you all and look forward to hearing your answers from today, how your practice goes, what things you like already, what things you've noticed, what makes it hard to be consistent. All of those things are really important for you to reflect on. And then when you share it, we can support you better. You're going to support yourself better by really digging into those questions. And you're going to help the other people in the community who are just like you, wanting to do these things. And your insights are going to help them a lot. So
thank you, Lori,
thank you for that.
All right, bye. All right, everybody, wasn't that great? It really is a beautiful experience to get still with yourself and to learn how to listen. This is it is sort of the end all be all in the sense that we are doing the work to become authentic, to become connected to who we are. So this is an amazing practice to strengthen everything that you want to strengthen within yourself. You may even want to write down a list of things that you'd like to accomplish in this format of your growth. Like, I want a quicker access into meditation. I'd like to be still. I want to see what all the hoopla is about. I mean, even if it's just that. And open up your awareness, your heart to the possibilities of you learning how to clear out and still yourself. So with this building practice of stillness, it's really important for you to build the security, safety, clarity, and confidence for yourself. And it is not possible to feel these things if we aren't showing up for ourselves and supporting ourselves. So make that space and listen to what comes up and become firmly rooted. So again, like Lori said, keep posting in the Facebook group, schedule your call with us if you haven't already. And we are going to open it up now. If there's any questions about the homework or any questions, period, please feel free to unmute yourself and ask that question. Any questions? Sandy, do you have a question about the day 3, the integrative homework?
I don't have a question about the homework. This is Sandy.
Okay.
I have a question in that because I didn't get the link to that everybody got for the Zoom, and I got mine just from you. I also didn't get this workbook, so I'm doing all the work that I know of.
Oh,
That's
so
the way I know how, but I
did
don't
you
have
sign?
the work.
Did you sign up, honey? Oh yeah,
I've
you
signed
said
up
you.
3 times now.
Okay, let me send you the workbook. I thought I sent you the workbook. I'm so sorry. Let me send you the workbook in a moment, as soon as we're off of here, and it goes in deeper. Bless you, you sweet thing. I adore you.
It's okay. I'm determined to do this.
Yay! That's one thing that I love
Against
about
all
you.
odds.
You're determined. I love it. Great. All right, wonderful. All right. Anyone else have anything, Julia? No? Okay. All right, everybody. Pardon? Okay. Everybody
Thank you.
Thank you, honey. Everybody have a beautiful day, and we will see you tomorrow.